We have a creature called the Inferi in the sequence. They're sort of tortured souls that Lord Voldemort has stuck in the cave and has left there. And David Yates was very explicit about having them not feel like they're zombies. Actually, he wants you to feel actually bad for them. And what they're trying to do is really is sort of draw Harry in. And during the sequence, Harry actually gets pulled in underwater, and the Inferi grabs him and starts sort of drowning him and dragging him down. That whole moment of him going into the water and getting pulled down is more of like an embrace rather than trying to, attack him or eat him or something like that.
It was more about making a believable story, because ultimately they were victims of Voldemort. They weren't there because they were killers themselves. So all of the visual effects people involved were careful that they were not making a sort of gory type horror film.
The design itself is difficult that way because they do look very emaciated and very skinny. They're basically skeletal creatures. So the action and the animation tells the story that these aren't zombies. The design started in London, and they started sending us lots of reference photos, some artists that had done some interesting sculptures. Then they started actually building a sculpture over there, a maquette, which was life-size of one of these Inferi. They got to a certain point in that sculpt, sent us pictures of that, and then we additionally did some artwork along with that to start defining things like hands, various heads, different hairstyles, because there's so many of them. We build one maquette, we really have to change that up and make it look different. It was kind of a collaborative effort with them to give us the look, and then we went in and modified faces, height, shape, that type of thing with the Inferi. I think ultimately, and what's really interesting about this director is that he always goes more for realism. So we basically just went to the track of just try to make them look as human as possible. And in a way, that's almost scarier, because then hopefully you're actually believing that these things are crawling out of the water rather than making it some kind of weird creatures.
We referenced a lot of prison camp type survivors where they're very emaciated and they've been sort of tortured by their environment. It was some difficult reference to look at, but it definitely served in creating a look for these characters as well as sort of being ominous. They needed to not just be intimidating or scary, but they also need to be kind of sympathetic and tragic.
In the movie itself, the Inferi are fully computer generated, but they're based upon actions and the facial reference capture that they did in London, as well as our motion capture here. For their actual acting or action, they hired some actors, and the director had these actors go through various poses, maneuvers, and just expressions. Once we had that, we then additionally here at ILM did a bunch of motion capture, because our animators actually wanted to control all of those rather than going for a crowd pipeline. So our animators went down to our motion capture stage and actually did a bunch of acting, and then we brought those in and put them onto the Inferi. For me and for the team, it was the most complex work that they've given us, and I kind of feel like they really entrusted us with a nice sequence, pretty major to the book, and we loved it. We loved working on it.